Why, hello there, Dom Salvucci. How
Oh,
we doing, sir?
ah, doing pretty good. I am dry while outside the rain is bouncing off the pavement back up into the air. It's coming down so hard.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we got a little rain going on here. It's the lovely August time where you have your nice hot weather and chance of thunderstorms and all that ripping through. And I kind of feel like last time I had some computer glitchy issues. In the past, there's times where you've had some glitchy issues. It's kind of from East Coast to West Coast, like it is covering
yeah,
all of PA right now.
yeah. We are dodging code red storm warnings. Amazon's lighting up. I'm getting calls from the code red system. TV's popping up. My
Yeah,
wife
man, it's
Francine's
everywhere.
gonna be a little bit upset. Her soap opera was pushed off the air due to weather forecasting today, so she's recording it and she's gonna get a weather forecast
There.
for an hour.
Hmm. I mean, I got like the phones up, you see all the red
Yeah,
and the green. I got the TV with the weather going. Like it's weather central, and you can't really do anything about it. Just listen to it pounding on the windows as we're here recording. But we're dry, man, and things are going well. How's August? I mean, we're just what, August 6th, and I know I was doing the sad dad countdown for my daughter going back to college. She got to move her back in the 24th. It's the weekend after our first week in school. So we got that rolling, and yeah, I mean it's crazy, man. August 6th, it's here already. How you feeling?
I know. Um, we start our we have a floating in service next week to get seven and a
Okay.
half hours in. If we get that in, then I'm off the following Wednesday. We go hard in service Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, we either do that in service or if we get our 7.5 hours, we're off. Kids come that
Yeah.
following Thursday, Friday. Um, my daughter's school doesn't start till after Labor Day because they're doing some construction. So she has a little bit more of an extended holiday,
Oh,
but pretty much done.
yeah.
Pretty much done.
Yeah, I was in doing curriculum writing today for science, wrestling the steel standards. It's all good, and trying to get a game plan and figure out what's going there. Um, and some of them, sixth grade's good, fourth and fifth is carrying over to day two. But I will be represent PACT at the CAIU AI Summit or AI
Nice.
conference they're having tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to a lot of great presenters there, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool and get to talk to people about the organization. And yeah, so South Central's sponsoring, and I'm gonna go and help out with the table after I take care of some dad duties and help drop my daughter off to babysitting, kind of a deal, and then get up there. But yeah, it's wild. And yeah, so in school, my daughters come in, and they for many years have helped. When they were younger, they would play school while I'm trying to like set up my classroom, set up
Yeah.
school. um Now it's a little bit more listening to music, and they're on their iPhones while I'm doing some work, and just asking them, well, okay, take stuff out of all the cabinets where dad shoved it in at the end of the year. And then I always get your desk is so messy. I'm like, I don't got time to clean it. You want to clean it? No. All right. Well, then, you're not going to help me. It's going to stay messy. So yeah, with all that jazz. So working on getting all that out, but we kind of have that floating, take care of that half day. We call it service in kind time. And then, but we're officially back on the 19th. So we
Yeah.
get 3 days of in service, and then kids are back 22nd and then 23rd. So
That's pretty
and then
much us. We have
changing.
that flexible. It's almost like what is it? Let's make a deal. What's behind what's in cabinet number 3 when you open
Oh, dude,
shove stuff in at the end of the year and like
I
you
know.
know
I was like, I remember in this section, I think I put my tape dispensers. No. Okay, let me go over here. Yeah, scissors. Yeah, where's all that stuff? But yeah,
it's
have all
funny.
that, and then
Oh,
I was just gonna say then, dude, like August 23rd, like I'm working the sidelines of the chain gang, and yeah, and like I said, moving my daughter in on Saturday, so we're at that time, brother. It's rolling.
yeah. It's funny you brought up CAIU's AI event because I just got a call from a friend of mine, PACT member, and Elwood City, they're having an in-service tomorrow on AI. And she's like, what do you have? Like, what do you guys have from PACT that you could like, you
Oh,
know, show me? Because their director of curriculum, I forget her exact title, but she came to a couple PACT events. We got her pulled in as a member.
nice.
So I'm getting ready for the pod, but after the pod, I'll zip you some
Yeah,
information.
yeah, and dude, I mean, it was like walking through the halls of ISTE It was limited on math content, limited on some of the NGSS stuff, but dude, there was no drought in AI sessions and material. So, I mean, there is a lot of stuff out there. You just got to kind of wade through and figure out what it is that is good for you, what's working. So, yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, let's see. So we're on August 6th. So it's 6 days into the month, but I think it's a Tuesday. And
preseason starts Friday.
I was gonna skip all the football talk because I haven't been paying attention to the Dolphins. Come on, man. Tell me how
it can't be preseason because that's Friday.
I know. I missed the Pro Bowl, the Hall of Fame game. I didn't get a chance to see that, but I hear that was pretty. It was the most interesting part was the new kickoff.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I heard a stat today. They said in the Super Bowl there were what do they say? 19 kickoffs. Of those 19, all 19 were touchbacks. And then during the regular season, 20% of all kickoffs were returned through the whole season, and 30, all 17 weeks was it last year, yeah. 32 teams. And then this model they took from that XFL UFL merger, so that's what they were doing.
Yeah. And
during their season, which is a shorter season, less teams, they had 45% returns. So they, it was Schrager has a podcast, and he's one of the guys on Good Morning Football, and he was talking about it, and he said, so talking to one of the guys that's in charge of figuring out the health and safety of the NFL, he was saying how it should give more, production, more excitement, and bring the kickoff back into play as opposed to the way they took it away. So I don't know. We'll see. Verdict's out. But how are the Steelers going to do on the kickoff return, Dom? Where are we at? What's going on with the Steelers?
I haven't seen their kickoff return yet. It'll be Friday night. We'll be watching that as we hang out at the PACT board meeting. But
oh, you think?
We got Cordarrelle.
See if you get the controller. We'll hide it.
And a couple other guys for returns, and he's not quite a Devin Hester, but he's up there. He's one of the best returners of the last few years. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about it, if they don't do anything to bring it back, like Devin Hester made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If he was, if he was balling during this time where, all the kickback, all the touchbacks and stuff, like he never would have made his mark. So it'd be a whole different ball game. So yeah, interesting stuff. All right, man. Well, football stuff. Listen, the football talk is going to it should be a good year for both teams. We'll see. And I know it will for the Dolphins. I'm just hoping for the best for the Steelers, and we'll definitely have a good time to have those conversations. So getting back to the fact that it is the first Tuesday of the month. So I think it's time we get serious, and it's time for
the PACT pod.
All right, let's roll it. Welcome to the PACT pod, a show for educators by educators. PACT is a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses on educational technology uses in the classroom in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
My name is Eric Verno. I'm the president of PACT, and with me today, as always, is my co-host,
Dom Salvucci. I'm the vice president of PACT.
Yeah, and just also I feel like it's been a while since I've been in this seat. We had the live from KTI podcast, and I just feel like the KTI live from Denver, ISTE floor in Denver. So a lot of stuff going on, but I feel like it's been a while since we've been hanging in the office in my corner office suite in the basement, by the washer dryer, and hanging out. And of course, I got my daughter as usual, kicking her workout over there in the corner. So, it's just, it's a podcast night. That's how it rolls in the Verno household when we have the podcast. A lot of good stuff.
It's going to be a good episode. I got Charlie is co-host in the chair next to me. She's curled up. It's
okay.
Wife and daughter, one of her friends went up to Waldemere today. They managed to dodge the rain until they were coming home. So
okay.
Good. Up in Erie, there was a brief shower. And then they headed out after that, or in between before the next one rolled in. So they're almost home. We're just hanging out in the office in the podcast studio.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, over your shoulder, I see, looks like a new water bottle there.
Yes,
I think,
it is.
yeah, look at that placement. I think you may have gotten that at the little thing that you attended this summer.
It's, the KTI Summit.
KTI Summit 2024. A lot of excitement about KTI Summit 2024. And that's why this is the KTI Summit Recap Podcast. We're going to talk about the summit. You know, it's a passion project that, you know, PAECT, many of its members, many of its leadership have been a part of. And we take it very, you know, I say personally, it's a drive for us to, you know, pay it forward from what we earned, you know, gained from it. And we want to do what we can as an organization to keep supporting it, and excited for that.
Yeah, it's a passion project for not just the people involved in it, but, you know, many of the members of PAECT. A lot of members have been through it. You know, people put a lot of effort into it. The lead learners, that team is phenomenal. They donate their time that no one is paid. They donate hours upon hours upon hours, and then it culminates in a week in the summer, not to mention all the planning time involved. To get that up and running.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it's very cool. Every year it's a different mix of people. You know, some of the people may be able to, you know, reapply and get accepted and be there. And but it's just awesome to have those mix of people come together just with their hearts and what they're able to pour into it. And it's amazing what they're able to do. And I mean, I definitely we'll have a podcast coming up here, and I believe it's going to be like around October, that we'll have first time KTI leads, that they went from, you know, the seat of our guests to the seat of being a lead learner. So they go from being a KTI star to being a KTI lead learner, and just talking about how that is, you know, because it's a huge undertaking, and it's just you know, it's kind of like a weight on your shoulders, because you know how it was your year, and you want to make sure that you do what you can to make it that following year. So it's really awesome the way that works out. So yeah, it's really cool. And we had some firsts. You know, we're looking at, you know, our KTI chat and how's that going to fit in this changed world of social media. There's so many different outlets, you know, out there. You know, is it, you know, are people more still text based, which is kind of like the Twitter is, you know, Twitter X is things, the kind of the phrase I'm landing on that I've heard it called. I kind of like that. But you know, is it Blue Sky? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Like, where are we at with all that? And, you know, watching all those TikTok dances, just, you know, I pulled too many muscles just watching the people do it. So you're not gonna see me busting out any dances. So yeah,
a
Facebook, lot of stuff.
We did that. We ran that pilot episode of Twitter chat from the KTI Summit, and we were talking. I don't know if it was because we had a captive audience, if you will, because a lot of people were there on site, but Facebook was blowing up, and that surprised me because, you know, Facebook seems to, you know, have kind of trended towards the older users. I know a lot of the younger users are on TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, you know, but there was a lot of activity on Facebook. It's hard to keep up. Actually, it was good. It was a good thing to have.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, true to point, we have more people watching live on Facebook right now than we have on YouTube. You know, Twitter, now they've jumped into a paid model, but you know, more people on Facebook than we have on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube combined. So that's awesome. I mean, that's just the venue, you know, where we want to be. So, but we're able to push it forward. So we'll talk more about the Twitter chat and all the things that are going on with that. But I think, you know, we're talking about the KTI Summit recap. We've had several shows where we've talked about it, but as always, Dom and I understand the importance of a great show is to make sure you have intelligent people, credible people, amazing people on the show to talk about it. And that kind of knocks us out in three realms, I think. So,
yes.
So I think since we've just got knocked out with a triple TKO, I think we need to invite on some guests. What do you think?
I think that would be best for us right now.
All right. So first timers to the pod. Let's welcome our pod guests. All right. So we've got Bill and Jessica, as I'm reading it on my screen, joining us today. So Wonderful. Bill, make sure you come off of mute there. There you go. All right. Oh,
Oh.
he went off and came on. I guess Dom tried to take you off of mute and then you went
Yes.
back on. So happens all the time. All right. So let's Jessica, let's start with you. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jessica Brunel. I'm a high school emotional support teacher at Centennial School, which is a private school in Pennsylvania for students that have emotional and behavior disabilities.
Awesome. All right. And Bill, your turn.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm a 7th grade academic literacy teacher at Mount Nittany Middle School based in State College, Pennsylvania. Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks.
All right. So now,
Welcome,
we
guys.
did a little bit of the talking. Yeah. Welcome and looking out the window. So how's the weather for you, Jessica?
Oh, pretty gloomy today.
All right. Got the gloomy. Okay. All right. Bill, how are we?
Yeah,
Rain coming down. We good?
Big storm just passed. It's just kind of overcast and real cloudy right now.
All right, so just checking in. We did have a couple of people that were going to come on, and they are without power. So we got you too. I want to make sure you guys are good and safe and power solid. So that's good. And in case anybody knows any flakiness that may happen, we're all like Dom and I said, from East Coast to West Coast. The whole state is pretty much covered in some major storms right now. So all right, so let's take it back to the beginning. When you found out you were selected to be, because the process is you're nominated to be a Keystone educator. All right. So that's step one. So Jessica, how did you find out you were nominated to be a Keystone educator?
So I had heard about the KTI Summit from some of my coworkers, and I just heard that it was this awesome learning opportunity, but not too much about it. But I'm always up for any sort of learning opportunity. So I was kind of hoping that I would get nominated for it. And one day I was in my supervisor's office and she said, "Hey, have you heard of the KTI Summit?" And I said, "Yes, please send me." And she goes, "Okay, that was my next question." So she was like, "Do you know what it is?" And I was like, "Vaguely, but I'm down. Send me, please."
Okay. Awesome. Bill, same question to you.
Yeah, so I remember I was in my room planning, and two colleagues of mine came in and they're like, "Hey, can we talk to you?" And I was like, "Oh, what's up? Is something up? Like, what's going on? Did I do something wrong?" And they just explained, "Hey, we're gonna nominate you for this like conference." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it." And I don't know. I didn't think anything. I've been to conferences. I presented at conferences, pre-COVID. So I hadn't been to one since then. And I was just like, yeah, I'll go to a conference. That sounds cool. Not knowing anything about it beyond that. So,
yeah. So you get nominated, with colleagues, principals, and how that supervisors, then you get the email saying, "All right, hey, congratulations. You're Keystone, technology innovator, as nominated by your building principal, whomever. Would you like to attend Summit?" Then they're like, "Oh, there's homework attached," right? Then you find out about that. So you get that application. We'll go backwards. We'll go, Bill. You get that application rolling in, and you're working through the process because there's a couple questions to think about. Take us through that. What was the mindset when you had that going?
Yeah, so I wasn't sure about whether or not I'd be accepted, only because I just got into the role, a year before, and I was just trying to get my feet under me. And so I was like, am I really doing anything innovative? Am I really doing anything worthwhile? But I thought, I'll try. I'll write down some of the stuff I've been doing. I'll just kind of speak openly and honestly about what I'm doing in my classroom and just give it a shot. And if I don't get accepted, that's okay. So,
yeah. All right, Jessica, before I even comment, I got some good comments for that, jiving with you, Bill, with that train of thought. Jessica, what about you? Your mindset when then they said, "Hey, by the way, there's homework. You got to fill out this application if you want to go to Summit."
Yes. So I definitely would say I put that homework off for a bit because I was just overwhelmed by the thought of it. I looked at it and I was like, it's asking me for these amazing things I've done in my classroom, but what have I done? And then as I started to look through like my Google Drive and my Canva account, I was able to pull enough things. And I was like, you know what, maybe I do belong there. I think I have enough stuff that I'm willing to be proud of and present to them and show them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dom, what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go first, sir.
I was just gonna joke and say, so yeah, whenever you thought about Keystones back in the day, Dom, did you think about going to your Google Drive? Did you think about going to Canva?
I was
floating like
flash drives and CD-ROMs.
I was like, crap, did I throw that paper project away? That was really cool. We did. There's such limited tech use at the time. That was because Classrooms of the Future, they were bringing it, right? Yeah, but I like that mindset, and again, we've touched upon this in different shows and different guests that we've had on, but right away our minds go to, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why me? Like, am I doing anything special? Like, you know, because you're doing it every day. It's just second nature to you, but you're like, is this really stellar? Is this really outstanding? Right. And that's a big problem. That's not a problem, but like mentally, that's just a mental block. Like, so fortunately you guys pushed through that. But again, there are so many, you know, nominations. I forget the exact number, but you know, it's all across the state. Right. And then everybody gets that summit application. And then, you know, you have so many that come in, not everybody necessarily makes it. So, but there's some people that don't even make it beyond their self-doubt or their insecurities. Right. And that's just something I think teachers in general, we battle a lot. Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah. And that's, you know, imposter syndrome rolls through. Coy Bowles talked about it on here. Kevin Honeycutt talked about it on here.
Get you name dropping.
Yeah.
Well, I was pulling up the name dropping.
I use those two as my motivation for a presentation on that. You know, it's another form of advocacy in that, you know, you're not really framing it if you know, not really tooting your own horn, but showing what your kids can do is a better way of framing it. So you're not really like, hey, look at me. You're like, look at my students. And that's the mindset we have to have, because there's a lot going on, and you know, it needs to be shown. People need to see what the kids are capable of doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely go back, you know, Facebook or the YouTube archives, watch those podcasts, just to boost our numbers. No, seriously though, but what Coy was talking about, sharing the story, how artists are so different than teachers, and Kevin talking about some of the projects that he had going on, huge. Like, listen to those. And just to throw that out there, like, hey, Trisha, Amy, Mary Jo, Krista, how you guys doing? If everybody's watching, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, wherever you're at, feel free to add your thoughts. We've got Bill and Jessica live, but we have so many other the KTI family who weren't able to make it live, and they're on, you know, they're on the socials. So feel free to add your comments. That makes this an awesome experience. All right. So you put yourself out there. All right. I'm in Jessica's camp, right? The only thing procrastinators don't procrastinate is procrastination. We never put off procrastinating, right? We always do it right off the bat. So she and I are kind of in that same realm, right? Bill kind of got to it right away, right? He's doing great. He's the A+ guy. We're like, okay, let's float the B till we push it forward. Then you get it in there, right? And then it's just that waiting time, right? We're just chilling. Like, okay, I sent this out. I'm not hearing anything. All right. What was going through your minds there? Did you check with colleagues that you knew? Were you asking questions? Where were you at? We'll go Jessica first.
So I knew about when to expect the answer. I believe we got that in an email, at least, about when to expect when we would hear. So I tried my hardest not to think about it, because I didn't want to get my hopes up for something if I wasn't going to experience it. So I just pushed it out of my mind, focused on the school year, and forgot about it for a couple months, I guess.
All right. I got to just comment on Brendan, really, the Hawaii shout out. I need to see a picture. I need to see a picture of the luau, or it doesn't count. All right, Bill, what do you got? How was your mindset during that whole time?
Yeah, I did put it out of my mind for a while, because again, I had a couple of thoughts. The first one was like, man, a whole week in the summer. If I don't get picked, that's cool. I'll get my week back, you know?
Right.
But then, you know, I was also hoping, because I do really enjoy PD. I really enjoy being at conferences, learning, being around other people with the same energy. But like Jessica said, we did get some idea of the time frame. So I just kind of put it on the back burner and waited.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it really is a tough time. Again, back with Dom and I in the carrier pigeon time, you had to wait for that pigeon to kind of come in and bring the little note, and is it the right note, and did it get delivered to the right place? So yeah, definitely. But everybody had that moment of like, okay, here we go. So, see, listen, there's always next time, Brendan. That's so much time to listen. AI and Canva. Yes. Create a picture of me in a Hulu skirt. Let's just throw it out there. All right. I know AI exists. It's all right. Okay. Just kidding, brother. All right. Love it. So, but yeah, so you have those moments, you're kind of waiting. All right. So now acceptance comes. Where are we at? Bill, you fired up?
Yeah. You know, I told my wife and kids, hey, I'll be out for a week in the summer. And then actually a couple of days after that, I attended an online conference for a couple of days. So I was like gone. Like they didn't see me for that amount of time. But I was excited. Wasn't excited about the sleeping in the college dorm experience, but you know, I was like, it's fine, it's cool, whatever. Especially when they're like, hey, bring an egg crate for the mattress. Yeah, I don't know. But everything else I was really pumped for. But I'll be honest, I just thought it was going to be like another conference, just an extended conference, right? Like conferences are like 2 to 3 days sometimes. And so I was just going into the experience thinking this is going to be a conference. I'm going to go, I'm going to learn some stuff, I'm going to come home. So yeah. But I was still pumped for sure.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So then you get there and then you show up to Shippensburg. Were you there before the rain, during the rain? Where were we at?
As it started.
Oh, the downpour. Yeah. Jessica. Okay. Got the downpour of rain, the chaos that ensues and all the fun. And we keep this part like ... whispers and we move on. And then you get your tour. The dorm thing, right? It's a reality, but I love it that my daughter's toured different places. She's at Bloomsburg University, my alma mater. And but I joke and I'm like, but the dorms are not too bad at Shippensburg. I mean, the way they have your separate, you got your room and the whole setup and the different suites they have, but it's still a dorm. I get it. So, we got our experience. How was your icebreaker Monday? How did that go? Let's start with Jessica.
I had a really hard time picking what group to go with for the icebreaker because there were so many options I could choose from. And just from choosing that option, I would be able to like immediately go to a table of people with already. So once I finally decided which group I wanted to go with, I immediately was sat with a group of people who we had something to talk about. And I knew they were all teachers or educators in some capacity. So at that point, I started to settle in a little bit and know that I was around some comfortable people and get some chatting going on, and it felt comfortable. The food was also delicious on Monday night.
Right. Yeah. Hey, it's not often you find that, but we have just working those connections. We've been there a little bit and they do like us. But I do got to throw out like Trisha and Amy, like flexing the whole, I was there early. Oh, no rain. Come on. Come on. All right. Okay. Jeez. These people, listen, they're excited. They got wet. It's okay. You don't got to flex so hard, ladies. Anyway, but yeah, they're all fired up. And then, and of course, Trisha's it's going to come here soon. She's all excited. The dessert was pretty good. All right. I always joke. I'm like, you look at the table and it's like, okay, what could I have here that's not going to be redone tomorrow? That's like, I'm going to have it now and I'm not going to have to worry about having it in a different version the next day. Yeah. All right, Bill, what about you? So you got there Monday, kind of, do the icebreaker. We throw you in a room with people you don't know. How'd that roll for you?
I enjoyed those situations. So it was kind of cool. I got there and I don't know if I'm allowed to give this away, but the icebreaker activity with the movies, I was like, I don't know. Where's my favorite movie's not here. So I'll just pick this. Right. And could have picked a bunch of them, but no, it was cool. It was what stood out to me was the energy and the just the overall warmth and friendliness of the staff. I mean, that was, to be in a room with a bunch of people you don't know, that made it very, very cool, right? To see everybody who, was running it and how excited they were. It was like, all right, this is cool. This is going to be good. And then the icebreaker activity itself was really cool. I was like, I'm going to do this in my room this year. This is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like, thinking about that. First of all, Amy, we denied there was some guy with a beard flagging people down. It's pure denial. Don't know where that is. Fake news. And so like it's always cool. Like, I mean, bottom line is, we don't talk about that, Trisha. We don't talk about that, Dom. You can't show that one. We don't talk about that. So she's talking about the presumed eBay store. So just in case you guys are wondering. But yeah, so I mean that's the wild thing, right? I mean, how many of you, neither of you were comfortable walking into that room, right? You may have felt comfortable after you got there, like Bill talked about that, but like, that's what we want you to experience, because guess what? Our kids experience that. That right now they're like, waiting on bated breath to get those letters coming home. What homeroom teacher do I have? Do I have this teacher I really like? Do I have this teacher that I'm not so sure about, right? And they'll start the year saying they'll go over the summer, I don't like this teacher, and then they get that teacher by the end of the year. That's like their favorite teacher, right? We hear that all the time. But you have those moments, right, with that scenario. So we kind of like put you in that realm that your kids are in, like totally get you out of your comfort zone, a college bed, right? Put you into a room, people you don't know, how to figure out where you're going to go, and then that excitement. And I will say, from a lead learner perspective, every year is always so different. And the excitement that came from that night was awesome. And so, and a lot of the things like, we don't know when we go back to the dorm, when the night's over, you guys crash, do whatever, hang with some people, and we're back and we're doing, we're meeting and going over how'd everything go. Let's get the next day set up, kind of a deal. And that definitely was something that was just felt and shared across. That excitement, that buzz of what you all had was amazing. Adrian, Addie's getting on there and we're telling secrets. We can't show some of these.
Not posting it.
A lot of Facebook posts about trying to talk about the goings on. We don't go too deep. So now you went from those, maybe that little hesitation. You got there, you felt the warmth. All right, and then you got the next day rolls, and kind of a full day. So let's just have you talk about just the experience in general. We won't go. So I really want to get that intro and what your feelings were, your mindset, because teachers need to hear that. There's going to be another 200-300 teachers that get that nomination next year. There's going to be, of that 200-300, they might 100 of them may have somebody who went through and they could talk to them. Bill had some of the colleagues. Jessica, I know, has a lot of the colleagues that are there that know what it's about, and they're going to share different things with you. And hopefully you'll be telling your administrators about one of your colleagues next year, and you'll be able to talk to them a little bit about it. And again, don't spill all the secrets, right? You keep some things held back a little, but just cool things. So as you were going through, what would be some of the top sessions that you think you saw that you're pulling away? All right. Give you a little bit to think about it. All right. I'll go, Bill, we'll hit you first.
Yeah, no, I felt like the keynote speakers were amazing. The Star Story speakers were amazing. The sessions were cool, right? The sessions were good, but I really gravitated towards those and looked forward to those, the keynotes and the Star Stories. It was cool to see how story connected people, right? Whether it was the Star Stories from the lead learners or whether it was the keynote speakers, because I felt like that really had a great emotional impact on us. And then we were able to, I don't know if the best thing is to say, take it more seriously, or really kind of get into that zone of like, all right, this is serious. This is the work we're doing. This is for kids. So that was really impactful on me. And the sessions were great. All the sessions were great, but sure, I really enjoyed those keynotes and those Star Stories.
That's awesome. I love that. That's a great response. Sorry, Dom.
That's okay. Like the information there, and being a longtime member of PAECT, and like Eric said, we go way back. There's always, as regional director, being able to go up, and now as vice president, I love sitting in on the days I'm there and catching sessions and stuff. I wish I could have been up there for the keynotes, because there is a ton of information, and the stories are, those connections that you build from those stories are phenomenal, and they'll stick with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cool thing is again, going into it, there's no preset keynotes. And that's part of the lead learner job of like, who have we heard? Who do we know? Let's reach out to them. And some of them, we've had different people that came forward who are big time speakers and get a lot of money to speak at different conferences, have called us and said, hey, I want to do KTI. No charge. And we're like, great. Because we have a minimal budget. We weren't, we weren't going to talk to you because we don't want to insult you. Hey, we can't pay you necessarily, but like even people who've come back, it's a passion project of theirs that they want to come back, and they believe in teachers. They believe in education. All right, Jessica, what about your thoughts?
So as a special education teacher, I came into this a little hesitant of the sessions because I work in such a unique, specific environment that I wasn't sure if things would apply to the students I teach. A lot of them facing multiple disabilities. So, but from the very first session, which this has been a great experience for me today because I went back through and went through my notes and kind of organized a lot of my thoughts from KTI finally. But the first one I attended was Coding as Easy as ABC. And from that very first session, there were things I was going to be able to take for my high school students, and there would be things for elementary teachers to take back to their classrooms. So I just found all of the sessions to be really all encompassing. I was able to gain a lot of, especially the coding one. A lot of my students have very low motor skills, and coding is something I wasn't sure we'd be able to do, but there are little gadgets and stuff I was able to explore and play with myself that I'm really looking forward to bringing into my classroom. But they were super informative just from the very first day. My biggest struggle was I was having fear of missing out from not being able to attend multiple sessions at once. Like there were 5 sessions offered at a time at most of the time, and there'd be at least 2 that I was like, I have to go to those. How am I going to be able? Thankfully, I have the information from all of them that I wanted to attend, but that was the hardest part, was trying to figure out what I wanted to be in person for and attend, because everything was so interesting.
And that's again an awesome problem to have. The curriculum team they work tirelessly to kind of like get the lineup. Are we hitting all the different subjects? Are we hitting all the content? Are we hitting the curriculum? Is there a little bit of something sprinkled? We're not overloading all AI in one spot, all the math is in one spot. So it's a good problem to have when you look across it and you're like, there are a lot of great, sessions a lot of times, so that's cool. But yeah, you have the site to kind of go in and look at the different presentations and things that are there. Yeah, so that's, it's cool. Like you talk about, you're joking about you were having the FOMO during, we got Trisha and people are saying, hey, I want to go back, and yeah, so remember, lead learner applications are open, and everybody's, you were a KTI star, you could be a lead learner. But yeah, so I mean, really that feeling, and first of all, for the record, I mean, obviously I felt it there, but that's great feedback for the team in general that was there, to hear that there were so many great sessions. Again, you hope, you put it together, and it's not like we have everybody specific, you don't fill out the needs that you want. And even when you filled out the application, some people change jobs. Like, when I was accepted, I was this. Now I got moved over to this position, so my needs have changed. So a lot of that rolls into it too. So that's cool. But and it's we jokingly call it the secret sauce in the back end. Just how things are put together, how not everything's presented or told to you at the beginning. So there's a little bit of that blind walk and leap of faith kind of a thing, and just gelling it together. But I'll be honest, one of the phrases that I use a lot is like, you get out of it what you put into it. And the fact that all of you were there, gelling with the keynotes, listening to the star stories, going into those sessions, asking questions, eager to learn, just the conversation that you were all having at your tables was amazing. So in something this year that we did new, they talked about Evolve in the Evolve project. So let's think about the Evolve project, what your project was, what your group project was. Bill, what do you got? Where did you go with, where did you evolve with Evolve?
Well, my evolved. So
sure.
I started out really focusing on UDL. It's going to be a focus for our district a little bit. We're reading a book right now for some PD over the summer. And then I attended a UDL Con, which is based in California, after KTI, the week after. So I started out that way. And then after hearing some of the star stories, I'm like, hold up, this is impactful. Like, this is powerful. So I actually talked to one of the lead learners and shared, a little bit of my background and my upbringing and why I became a teacher. And really the idea of story started, sticking with me. And so that was where my Evolve project went. The idea of like, how does this concept of story help with our social and emotional learning with our students? Because it helps with our social emotional learning as people, right? And I think for students, connecting in ways that maybe we don't know, where we have similarities, or sharing our story with others, and then having other people affirm that story is powerful. And that happened during the whole summit, right? With our star stories, with our lead, our keynote speakers. And so that's where my Evolve project went. And I'm still working on it. I'm still kind of, doing a bunch of research, spending a lot of time on it, because it ignited a bit of a spark in me. So that's where I am. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's really the goal, right? It's growth throughout, right? Go ahead, Dom.
No, I was going to say, that's fantastic. And, like Eric said, it's growth throughout, but it's something that continues on. It's not like I guess it's more about the journey than the end result, because that end result keeps changing as you move forward. There's no, I guess I don't want to say there's no finish line, but the finish line keeps moving, because as education changes, and you guys are youngsters, it's not something that, okay, and Eric can attest to this, because we've been doing this a long time. Like, I know it, I'm good. It's, keep moving forward.
But again,
it's me on my age, Dom.
What's that?
Did you just compliment me on my age? I feel like that's just
Yes.
happened just now. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. By putting me down, he complimented you. See how that works? It's good. No,
I didn't put anyone down.
But Bill, honestly though, if you think about it, what you shared in your perspective of how it was is you came in open-minded, and you may have like preconceived, like, okay, right away you thought UDL, and a lot of people struggle at the beginning, right? What their thought is, but then not only did you have that, like, wait a minute, and then you sought people out, right, to have that conversation, and then you kind of like changed it up a little bit, still kind of had that feel, and then you went the path that you went, and you're like, and you're still working on it, and that's the thing, right? No such thing as a finished paper, no such thing as a finished product. You're gonna work on it, but it's a testimony, I think, of what we felt a lot of the KTI stars had this year, that desire, that openness, and that eagerness to kind of jump on. So that's awesome, and that's cool you did that. All right, Jessica, same question to you. What was your evolve, and how did it evolve?
Well, I began by thinking about some of the things I'm really passionate about, and I'm really passionate about high school special education, which in high school special education, we take a lot of time working on transition skills and how students can take what they're learning and begin working. Now, when I was in college, I worked as a mentor for college students with disabilities, and at East Stroudsburg University for the SILS program. Now, I loved working with that program so much. And something after working with the high school students that I learned was a lot of them don't understand that they have higher education options. A lot of them think that they have to go to school and then go to work because we typically teach them vocational skills. Well, so this kind of started my project where I was like, how can I kind of help them understand some of their greater options? And then I started compiling resources and how I can, what colleges in the area offer special education services for college students. And I just started creating kind of a list, and it kind of spiraled out from there. I would like to extend this to when they have college fairs and stuff, having a special education, maybe the podiums having like a separate area for special education students to see what services are available for them. So right now I'm just trying to kind of advocate for those special education students, get a list of resources that they can kind of reference that's readable for them and something they can access, but also their parents will be able to access and take them to those resources. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I've started a couple slides that are interactive where students can kind of click around, again, starting with the East Stroudsburg program that I worked for, but I know that Cedar Crest and DeSales and Penn State all also have these special education services for college students. So I'm kind of just trying to work on getting something up and going for students like that that don't know that they have that option.
Yeah, that's awesome. And working through all of that. And yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and that's the big thing. Like when it comes to this, Dom had to step out briefly just so everybody knows. But yeah, so all of these are so different in the way they take a life of their own and how you're working on it. And did you find like the groups you were with, the collaboration, the conversation, do you feel like that helped you out through that process? Not only the lead learners, but the KTI stars that were around you were able to find your like-minded groups, kind of a thing?
Definitely. The KTI learners, I think, were my biggest support. No offense to the lead learners. They were super helpful as well. But just having so many people around me and just being like, I am so confused where I'm going next, and kind of starting to explain what my idea is, even though in my head it doesn't even make sense. And I'm kind of unraveling it, and they're almost spooling it back together, organizing my thoughts in a way that I couldn't even understand and adding on to it. And now my projects become something so beautiful and something I never would have thought up all by myself.
Yeah. How about you, Bill?
Yeah. One of the things I kept hearing, whether it was at my table or another table, or just kind of like, scanning the room and listening, initially when the whole Evolve thing first rolled out, people were like, wait, what do they want us to do? And then I think many people started picking up on, hey, this is, they don't want you to do anything specific. They want you to do what you're passionate about. And there kept this sort of undercurrent of encouragement of people just to kind of pursue it, like just try it, figure it out. It doesn't have to be anything, it doesn't have to look anything like you think it has to look like right now. And then, pretty quickly, I kind of latched on. You mentioned earlier, Verno, about Passion Project. The Passion Project. That's what this is, right? This is this giant passion project that we're being exposed to, and that's powerful if you have an open mind and if you pursue it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's awesome. And it's funny, like how Jessica said, like, yeah, sorry, lead learners, the people around you were better. I mean, but our goal is to kind of come around, but what do teachers always want to do? We want to fix things, right? We want to help people with things. So like one of the biggest things for us is at those times we have to sit on our hands, and, when you're going through that struggle, sometimes it's tough to like watch you struggle. We know the end result's going to be great. And you got to put those structures in and help people that need it. But like, you're going to figure it out. But that productive struggle is big. It's what we want our students to do. And it's important for us to go through that and the different things. So in that scenario, when you're going through, I take it as a compliment, if you're like the lead learners weren't right there, a lot of your people you're working with, like that's really how it should play out. But if you seek somebody out like Bill did, yep. And I got that one already for you, Dom.
Oh,
and then,
sorry.
yeah, that's all good. And then, but then we're there to help and do what we can. But again, it's a balance. Cause again, we want you to organically come together, do these different things. Everybody's desire as an educator is to jump in and help and do the different stuff. So it's interesting. Even like when I sit back and I watch a lot of our lead learners and how they interact or act during those times, it's a battle within us. So yeah.
The lead learner that came around, it's funny, I didn't even seek her out. She came to me and she said, how's it going? And you ever have that moment where you just have to like say words and they have to come out and then the person just needs to listen. And then you're like, oh, I just said that. And now that makes more sense. Like that's really, she helped me and she kind of like was my sounding board, but that was like the best thing she could have done. Right. And I think as teachers, sometimes that's all we have to do is like, how's it going? And the student talks and it's like, yeah, you've got it. Right. That was kind of the moment I had, right?
Yeah, that's cool. It's huge. It's like, it's a reflection time, right?
Yeah.
But you're there listening. So it's not just me like having those mental thoughts. Like there's a lot of times where, I'm very auditory. So when I say it, I can learn it better. Just you having that experience of it's being said from your mouth, coming in through your own ears. They were just there smiling. But yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, and again, think about it as an educator. It's fun when you have that kid doing that same thing and you see like that light come on and you're like, good. And you just walk away and they're like, what just happened? You know what I mean? But like you have that in the classroom too. So that's really cool. All right. So again, being respectful of your time, this has been awesome conversation. So let's go with, final thoughts. Let's go with what would you share to somebody who receives that nomination next year, and then they're in that process of thinking about applying to go to Summit? What would your valuable words of wisdom be here? All right. Let's see. Any, mini, miny, mo. I think Jessica's gone first several times. I think we'll put Bill on the hot seat. All right, go.
Yeah. So a few things. The first one is, don't sell yourself short. I think both Jess and I kind of said that initially, right? Like we're teachers, and if you're being nominated, someone's either seeing something in you that you've done that's really impressive, important, or maybe they're just seeing your way of thinking, right? And who you are as a person, that you can bring that to the table, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is when you get there, I think just be open. Everyone's there and everyone's caring and everyone's supportive, right? We're all coming from that same mindset as educators. And that's the key thing to know, right? It's not like you're kind of stepping into the social world where we're all coming from a different background. We're all coming from the same, we're there for kids. So that's really important. And, I can't really say this with too much emphasis because I didn't have a roommate. I don't know if that's lucky or unlucky, but I guess make friends with your roommate. I didn't have one, so I was a little bit left out, but, gravitate towards the people that you feel like are your people. Find them and gravitate towards them.
I like that. But yeah, kind of a bummer you didn't have it. I know we had a couple people that didn't have the roommates. All right, Jessica, what do you got?
I would say that this is your opportunity to grow. This is such a unique experience. Nothing can prepare you for it, but go with an open mind and a notepad and a pen and just be ready to absorb as much information as you can. Be ready to connect with people. This is an opportunity that I don't think a lot of people get because it is so unique and exciting. And I think just try and take full advantage of it. It's a long 5 days, so make yourself comfortable and be prepared to be excited.
Yeah, and both
Awesome.
both of you had mentioned it is 5 days. It's intense, but the people you meet, whether you have roommates or not, you make some good connections. And I know from way back in the late 2000s, right before we went over 2010s, the people I met, I'm still in contact with, and my network has gotten stronger, and they've moved around and brought people into that sphere. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. So we're gonna keep you on the hot seat here, all right? Because we're gonna be you guys got to experience our KTI chat. So, all right. So hit the next one, Dom. I didn't get Amy's on there. All right. So let me share my screen here. Give me a second. And we did a thing. We're doing a new version of the KTI chat. So, all right. So I know you were there for it, and we jokingly say it's a weird time where teachers are on their phones or on their computers, when usually it's all the teens in a college campus, and they always look at us weird. So we're kind of doing a new thing, and we're going to introduce some different KTI chats. So we got a question tonight for everybody who's watching, whether it's synchronous or asynchronous. So our KTI chat question, of course, when you have a KTI chat question, you're replying with answer 1. There's only one question tonight. So I'm going to give Jessica and Bill a little bit to read it, because they've not been prepped for this. All right. So we're throwing them on the spot as we have all night. We haven't given them any prep. All right. So we're going to do our KTI chat question of the night. What are you doing in these final days of August to help prepare for the school year? All right, Dom, what about you? We'll start with Dom.
I've been continuing with getting certifications on some of the tools I use for my classes. And as we were talking beforehand, at the end of the year, how we kind of, stuff in drawers with beating the flip drum here. We have a little bit more time before we lose all of our posts on Flip. So I started pulling that down and pushing them over into TikTok, because my TikTok's pretty much it's a school account. It's my own personal account, but I only do educational stuff there, or on my school YouTube channel. Kind of grabbing the student flips, using iMovie to put them into a longer video and pushing them out so I don't lose that content. I'm trying to find some replacements moving forward from there. So that's my prepping for the school year.
Nice. I'd say mine is trying to have full time with the family, and trying to make sure to get those last minutes. I got, my oldest goes off to college for her junior year. So you have that. The other two home, my one daughter's looking at getting a full-time job, and then my other's in junior year of high school. So just enjoying those moments together. I was in curriculum writing today. You're taking care of the stuff that needs to be taken care of, but making sure you're remembering about family. All right. Before we put you guys on, we got Bailey posted one here, focusing on organizing my online learning environment for my students. Also have been getting bulletin boards and my sound wall ready. Ooh, that's awesome. All right. And we have Ryan Bedoya. Hanging out with my family, plus writing curriculum for 3 new coding classes. Yeah, that's going to drive you crazy. And planning fun activities for my students. All right, before we jump to Trisha's, all right, Bill, what do you got?
A little bit of everything. Family time for sure. Continuing with my passion, my Evolve project. I'm actually trying to turn that into something where I'm going to be applying to present at PAECT. Hopefully, whether or not that pans out, it's okay. And continuing my EDL pursuits. Had some PD on that over the summer. Reading a book right now, so just trying to kind of wrap all that up these last couple of weeks, and just scouring Facebook Marketplace for some cool seating. Found some cool seating for my students for my classroom in there, and had a really good idea from a teacher or lead learner. She got a restaurant booth that she got from Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, that is genius. So I'm looking for a restaurant booth if anyone knows what to find one.
No, that is neat.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump. Oh, Dom, you are there. You're hiding down there. All right, my screen got too bad. I thought for some reason he left. Put Trisha's up, Dom, and then we'll finish up with Jessica's. So Trisha has gamification PD, hoping that I will actually have a room and not be on a cart working with my counterparts at the other schools to build the curriculum, making goose chases and other scavenger hunts. And Trisha gets a little shout out from our resident goose chase expert. I won't do my goose honk because I did a miserable one at KTI. They were giving me a hard time about it. All right, before we go to Amy's, Jessica, what do you have? What are you doing in these final days?
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the last few moments of self-care, reading a lot, cooking a lot, still organizing some resources from KTI, and just getting ready. I'm pretty excited.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right.
And
And
speaking
Amy
of
popped in.
gamification, there's a book
good.
study going on right now.
Not literally right now, but during this week. Yeah, we'll be talking about it. But yeah, what is it? Was it Think Like, or what's it? Teach Like a Pirate?
It's not Teach
Explore
Like a
Like a
Pirate. It is Explore Like a
Explore
Pirate.
Like a Pirate. Sorry, it's right there. Amy has it right there. It was on the screen. I just didn't read. Preparing our students, PBIS leaders, tomorrow and Wednesday as we all work together to prepare the school for all the students. Also, reading Explore Like a Pirate. And Amy says, reminding myself to take care of my needs in this last week. We start on Monday, students on the 19th, and it's so easy to get into the habit of working too hard, not enjoying those exciting moments of the new year. Awesome stuff. All right, so we love it. So we're going to try in the off weeks, kind of rolling this in. But if you take a look here, our KTI chat calendar, so August 13th. So next week, we don't have a pod, but we will have a 7 p.m. KTI chat. So all of you who are here and checking on the socials, feel free to try to pop in and check, and we'll have a set of 4 to 7. I forget exactly how many we decided on, but we'll have several questions. You will always start off with introduce yourself and then give you a couple questions to ask. We'll read your stuff live on the show and talk about it and share about it. So we love this opportunity to get together. And for anybody who's watching, if you have ideas for great questions, shoot them to our social media, KTI chat, one of our main hosts, Melissa Krenzer. So melissa.krenzer at pact.org. And or you can reach out to Damara. We can get that information to her for you. So that is awesome there. All right. Well, Bill, Jessica, thank you so much for your time. We truly, truly thank you. You're getting a shout out. There we go from Bedoya. Bill and Jess, you both are awesome. Keep up the fantastic work you are doing. So thank you all so much for your first time. You smashed it. You killed it. We'll go with it's already looks like our highest rating, thumb likes and hearts.
Yes.
And it's because of the two of you. So thank you so much. We truly appreciate you. And the other cool thing is not only are you a KTI star, you are also a PACT premium member. So I'm looking forward to it. So check the calendar out. We're going to be talking about that when you guys are backstage or heading off, and make sure to see all the stuff that's happening around your areas. So I think Jessica's got an ice cream social coming up, and
Tomorrow.
I'm not sure what Bill's got going on. Yep, tomorrow. And Bill's got some stuff coming up. I'm not sure what the next one is, but we'll be talking about it shortly. So thank you both for being here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. See that, Dom, secret sauce. Get smart people on the pod. It makes it amazing, right? You know what I'm saying?
Much better. Much better.
That's it. I know. If only we didn't have to host, it would be so much better. All right. Well, we got to talk about.
Speaking of my neighbor.
Just make sure hey, Kevin, if there's thunder and lightning going on, man, get out of that pool. All right. So let's talk about what's going on around the state, around the Commonwealth with PACT. All right. So we're going to kick it with our favorite thing, the Glide Show. All right. So we got regional events happening around you. All right.
Before we go first,
August.
I want to go back one day.
One back. What? Oh, to the where you
Otis event, Otis overview. It was 7 p.m. It was recorded. All PACT premium members have access to Otis for Educators for free. They talked about the professional development, the live events, the go at your own pace events, best practices and features of Otis. People had a chance to jump in and play around with it. It will be posted on Otis as its own session. So check that out. But if you are a premium PACT member, you have access for Otis for Educators, great professional development opportunities.
Love it. All right. So he's jumping us to the calendar early. Look at that guy. All right. So let's go back to the Glide Show. All right. So we started with that Explore Like a Pirate book study. Um, if you want to jump into that, they'll still take you. Just make sure you have the book, but reach out to Jen Tony at PAECT.org, our PD chair. August 5th, right? The Zoom event shown there. And again, thank you for that huge tip there. It's there in the in our Otis platform. All right, our ice cream social, 7 p.m. in the Northeast, inside Scoop in Coopersburg, PA, which is very close to where I grew up in the Hellertown area, and it is an awesome ice cream shop. So bummer I won't be there, but I know you guys will have a great time. So just check in with Karen Staggerwalt, our Northeast Regional Director. August 14th, okay, so end of summer bash, the Bearded Goat, hosted by South Central. All right, be there or be square. And then August 18th, in-person event, Coffee and Connect, the Robinson Panera, hosted by Southwest up in your area, right, Dom?
Yep.
All right, and we got a Center County Grange tent meetup. So I'm not sure where that's going to be, but make sure you're checking the calendar and different things to see where it's happening. So as we jumped before with Dom, wanting to go in and look at that specifically, we have the PAECT calendar. So you can find that we've got the bit.ly on the screen. All right. And then that'll take you to that. And then if you go to the PAECT, I guess I don't have that to put up there, but if you go to paect.org/calendar, it'll take you here where you'll be able to sign up for your different things. So again, the ice cream social. All right. Going in, you can RSVP and register. All right. And it looks like premium members get their free ice cream. All right. And if you're not a premium member, you'd have to pay for your scoops. And then we got our book studies kind of lined up. The KTI chat happening at 7 p.m. next week, and nothing more. All right. And then our pod happening in September. So a lot of cool stuff happening there.
Yeah, and with the meetings, the board meeting coming up this weekend, I'm fairly certain more events will be hitting the Glide Show and the calendar. So check back regularly at paect.org.
Yep. And just to let you know, next week we've got a special guest. So we're really excited. There's been a lot of conversation happening with our PAECT leadership. So next week, in 2 weeks, next podcast, what's that? The 19th, I think it is.
Yes.
We've got Steve Robertson's going to be joining us, who is the author of Aliens Among Us, 10 Surprising Truths About Gen Z. So this has been a topic of a lot of conversation, because these are the kids in our classroom. And we're really kind of feeling on the PAECT leadership level that this is a big push, whether it's Steve's book, there's some other books out there, but there's just that time where, I know I've spent a lot of time on the brain research side of things, learning about how people learn, but there's another element of how does this generation learn? What are they thinking? So it's been awesome going through, reading it, and going through. I'm on truth number 2. All right. So working through there. But we strongly urge it. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it is free on Kindle Unlimited, and it will eventually roll out as one of our PD book studies, but they already have their one going on right now. So, but yeah, we're going to have Steve on. If you want to make sure you log in online, ask your questions you might have. And it's going to be an excellent show. So that's in 2 weeks. The next podcast will be featuring Steve Robertson. So I'm really excited for that podcast.
And in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, any comments, any feedback, please reach out to us at pod, P-O-D, at paect.org.
All right. Yeah. So any show ideas, tech notes, tech news requests, or questions, there it is.
You want to be a guest? Right. You have something cool you want to talk about?
That's it. Yeah. Because listen, PAECT is an awesome organization. It's awesome because of our members. And this pod, same concept, right? The people we have on, the things that are shared, right? It's the smartest person in the room is the room. We love that mentality. So we'd love to have you on. So, all right, man. Well, listen, what an eventful show. Some great stuff shared. And dude, KTI, they did it again this year. And the lead learners, they brought it. They made it what it was. So it's so awesome to have them together.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to have to work on, and I know you drive a lot of the questions with our guests. So you'll be doing a lot more of the talking, because I feel like I overtalked you a lot today. So I do apologize, but
you were there all week with the learners. Right. And, I was in Thursday and Friday. So I got to meet people, got to hang out and talk with some people. but that was your wheelhouse on this episode. I have the book. I got to do some. I got to jump in, do some reading on the book. I'm doing the book study, doing this book study, and some fun reading. I totally botched the how am I spending the last couple of weeks, because I did it from the professional angle as opposed to have been working full time in and doing some odds and ends around the house. I did better this year. Everyone laughs. It's like you can tell when Dom's going back to school because that's when he starts all his projects 3 days before he goes back. But I pace things out over the summer. I've been pacing things out and doing stuff. So
listen, you're a young whippersnapper yet. You'll get this thing. You'll get this thing down. I know you will. I have faith in you. Well, I hear you. Nah, it's funny. It's all good, man. All right. Well, listen, it's been an awesome show. We truly appreciate everybody who was live, all of our guests. And, most importantly, remember, PAECT Pod.
We are
the voice of EdTech
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
So thank you so much for everybody, and we want to thank our sponsors.
PAECT would like to say thank you to all of our sponsors.
Venture sponsor, EduSpire, corporate council members, ClassLink, ClearTouch.
Thank you to our gold sponsors,
Howard Technology Solutions, and Teachers First.
Thank you to our event sponsors, DRC, Data Recognition Corporation, and Edmentum. We at PAECT truly appreciate your support. Thank you once again.